What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. I'll start today with a quote to reflect on. It goes, "Life passes most people by while they're making grand plans for it." And why is that? Despite having grand plans, despite having high aims, that most people don't achieve them. It's obviously not because of ambition. It's not because of not having a vision or goals. It's not because we don't have the desire. Most of the time, life passes us by because we let it escape, one moment at a time, one failure to grasp at importance at a time, one lapse in discipline at a time, incrementally degrading. Most of the time, life leaks away, one low-level preoccupation at a time, one low-level thought, one low-level task or activity, one low-level aggravation, one low-level focus and distraction at a time. The quickest way to insult someone with high stature or great potential is to bog them down with low-level thinking, low-level questions, low-level request for involvement. I've sat in town hall meetings with the CEO of a large company and cringed when an employee raises their hand to ask the most basic of questions. Like, literally, you have someone in front of you at 50,000 feet in their thinking daily, what they're looking at and considering. You can find out anything from them, but instead you just have to have your existence be known, and you bring up something that can be found out, that you can do some research on from either a direct manager or supporting staff or on your own time. It's almost insulting to ask someone to placate your low-level thinking. I can't tell you how many accomplished people I've heard this from coaches to influential speakers or even audience members in a seminar, where either upon meeting with someone from the crowd, the person only ends up talking about themselves the whole time, removing any chance of learning anything for them, or worse, asks them the most basic of questions that they could have easily done some prerequisite homework for. Missed opportunity for you. All because you didn't do any prerequisite developing of self, do any prior homework, or follow your curiosity enough to do your own part in building towards the bigger picture that you are trying to ask this person about. Because you probably let all those learning opportunities leading up to these moments leak away as well. When you're growing a company, the way you grow past a solo operation into scaling starts with using other people to leverage activities that you are currently doing. And the most logical way to go about this is to take off of your plate the lowest level activities so you can focus more on the activities that are highest income generating. You would take off basic administration, bookkeeping, eventually escalating to sales and marketing and management. It would be done in reverse order of importance, because the last thing you want is a CEO or an owner who is capable of earning $1,000 an hour doing activities that you can outsource for 20 or 50 or 100 or 500. But you also wouldn't start by outsourcing the most important trunk level decisions that can uproot your entire business. You'd start with leaf and branch and stem level decisions to be outsourced first. You would take all the lower level activities that leak your attention and time and energy so you can regain back those resources to deploy more appropriately to your highest contribution to the business. And even if you don't run a business, this is just as applicable if you look at yourself as a business, as an entity, as the nation state that you are, and ask yourself, what low-level leaks are there in my life that are keeping me from my highest contribution? What low-level activities, low-level commitments, low-level thoughts, low-level expectations that I am trying my hardest to live into, but are actually a deterrent from me reaching those grand plans that I have in life? I can't tell you how annoyed I get, and I'll use the word insulted again, how insulted I get when someone brings me into a conversation or an argument about something that is so menial that I look down upon even my own self for engaging in it. I'm just as scrutinizing with my own thoughts Anytime I am ruminating and I catch myself having a useless, unproductive thought that I'm stacking for no reason other than to feel a certain way or to dig my nails further into feeling that way, I'm vicious with myself in dismissing it. It's hard enough to hold on to a thought nowadays with all the distractions that we have. Most of our thoughts last less than 10 seconds of the reels or TikToks that we watch. Still, though, they leave behind residual feelings, activate our nervous systems, leave behind some anxiety. So I see very few things in life as important as to become mindful about where our minds go on autopilot, and then to work on nudging them back to a center of focus that is more conducive to the life I want to live. And I fail at this all the time, but our thoughts can be a major source of leaks of potential. So it's very important for me to continue to have this as a thing I try to do. Sometimes that means you have to be ruthless about saying no to unwanted thoughts, unwanted engagements, unwanted conversations and concerns. If you actually want to realize this life before it passes you by, you got to be willing to say, pay respect to the pay grade. I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.